started as a musician basically in high school. I remember I was in this, I think it was Algebra 2 honors class, and there's this really cute girl in the class. Yeah, it's really embarrassing. I started because of a girl, but I found out that she was in her church's like worship team, and so I was trying to impress her. So I went and taught myself how to play guitar and how to sing, and I was really bad at first, but I just tried it, and that's really how I got started. But like eventually, as I grew closer to God, I started using like music for like the gospel and stuff. Not always like writing like worship songs. Like I do write worship songs, but I prefer writing songs that are relatable, songs that I feel like have biblical messages in them, or things that I believe, just to like try to communicate with other people who might not necessarily believe. So yeah, that's really how it kind of started with music. There's a lot of things that inspire me. I guess my main inspiration is just the people around me, the people I surround myself with, like even just going to church. You know, actually a lot of my songs are from messages that I get from church. Like sometimes I'll be going to like New Song, for example, and like there'll be like this great message, and I feel like super called to like write something about it. So I'll just like reflect on the message a lot, read some of the Bible, and from there like figure out what I want to write about, and then I'll just write a song based off of that. But even like in my life, there's so many like amazing people that I'm so lucky to be friends with, lucky to work with, even just be in their lives, and just being inspired by the people around me, my circumstances, like how much God has blessed to me. Sometimes I write about like my dreams, because like I don't know why, I just get really vivid dreams a lot. So usually I try to like remember the important ones and just write something based off of that. But more than anything, I would say like God inspires me, because like I mean all the things I described earlier, they're really from God in the first place anyway. Just through like the messages, through the Bible, and all that good stuff. For me, a great inspiration is my coworkers. Because I work at UCI, I live in one of the housing communities, so I work there as well. A lot of my coworkers, they're always just so motivated. They always care so much about the residents there, and like to me, like I see that love they have for them, and like it translates into like, for me at least, I perceive it as like God's love for us. I mean, obviously we can't fully like imitate God's love for us, because like, you know, we can't even imagine, but I see like so much love going on where I live, and it inspires me so much just to see that going around, because the people I'm surrounded with, they're so selfless and they're so caring for other people, you know, and I love that, and I always like try to emulate that as well. And also people in my Christian ministry, I'm involved in a small-ish Christian ministry at UCI. We're not in the official on-campus one, because we meet in a house, but it's called Miles Militis. Some of my brothers and sisters there, like I feel so proud just to be able to call them my brothers and sisters, my friends, because really they're like my family, and I've seen them grow so much and give up so much for the underclassmen, for example, or for each other, and how much they really care about each other, and how we try to grow each other through the gospel. And to me, that's such a great inspiration, because that's how I believe we should be trying to live our lives, you know, trying to build each other up, keeping each other accountable, and just growing in the Lord. Just in my general life recently, I've been working a lot. Like I said, I work in student housing. So what I do is I create a lot of programs for the residents there, just to help them transition into college life, because you know the residents I live with, they're all incoming freshmen. It's really great because I get to see how I directly impacted them and how I can really be a good influence, just trying to represent God well where I live, where I work. So that's what I've been doing a lot recently, just trying to keep myself busy with work. Also schoolwork. I am a biological sciences major, so you know, just working in the labs, going to class and doing all that stuff. It's crazy, but it's good. I can see God growing me through that. In terms of music, right now I'm just trying to figure out where I'm gonna have my Kickstarter concert, because I am planning to release another album in January, and I'm planning to start a Kickstarter project. Just so hopefully people will pledge and we can like make this album happen. I'm really excited for it. Just recording more, making more music videos, trying to connect with more people, just share who I am, what I'm about, hopefully uplift other people, and yeah, mainly stuff like that, just being myself. When I actually first started trying to do like this whole like YouTube thing, like performing and stuff, at first it was like all of like just by myself, like kind of like a solo thing. But it didn't last. It was really hard, just because like when you're by yourself, it's really difficult to really stay motivated and really feel like you're impacting people and you're really like doing what God is calling you to do. But in these past like years, like I've really been able to connect with other people, and really I'm only as successful as I am today because of all the support I've received from other people, like from my Christian ministry, people at my work, even just people that I meet after performances and stuff. Like the support that they give me and like just the love that I receive from everyone, that really helps me to keep going, and I feel like that's really what makes me successful in what I do. Even my interns, the people who like help me like make stuff happen, like I love them so much. Like they help me with so much of my life. Like even though they're technically just helping me with like my music stuff, like they're an inspiration to me as well. And I really wouldn't be anywhere I am without the people that God has blessed me with. I guess a typical day for me, wake up around 7:30 or 8. It depends if I have 8 a.m. class. But wake up early, hopefully get breakfast if I have time. If I don't have class, I just like try to study in the morning, because I live among freshmen. So the tendency is like late at night, everyone's awake, you know, everyone's just like having fun. So I have to do all my work in the morning, in the afternoon. Just trying to get my stuff done early on. Depending on which day it is during the week, I'll try to record a couple songs, do some like mixing, some producing, maybe recording some videos. But I would say most of my day is actually work. It's interesting because the place where I work at, I'm actually doing way more than is actually in the job description. But for me, like I love that, because I really believe that God put me in this position to really represent His kingdom, you know, and really do His work. And I believe that when you are Christian, like you understand that like God made you, and like if you have God with you, you can do like anything, like you can do great things. So I really want to just like be an amazing role model, a really hard worker, just to show God's grace. So I do spend a lot of my day just trying to plan stuff for the residents, because I also like have like a heart for them. Yeah, like just studying work music. That's pretty much my life. Hopefully if I have time, like I try to like connect with my friends, just like hang out and stuff, because that's an important part of my life as well. Just being connected with the people that inspire me. So that's typically what a day looks like. I don't really stop until like maybe 10 p.m, and I just like relax, hang out with my hallmates, just getting to know the people that I serve. It's funny, when I was younger, I actually wanted to cure cancer. I remember saying that to myself. Obviously, I didn't know what I was talking about because I was a little kid. But yeah, I wanted to be a bioengineer. I don't even know why. Maybe it's because of my upbringing, maybe because I lived in Arcadia growing up. But as I grew older, like it became less of what exactly I wanted to be and focusing more on what God wants me to be, or like the path that God has chosen for me. It's been kind of hard like going through college, just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do in life, because sometimes I feel like God hasn't given me a definitive answer yet. I only know like maybe bits and pieces, like God showing me a little bit of what I'm supposed to do. But I think for me, just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, just constantly praying, asking God to like reveal to me what His plan for me is, so I can just follow that path. The thing I would like to say to people who are trying to figure out what they want to do in life, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make failures, because you know, we're human, we're people make mistakes, and I feel like once we're able to accept that fact, we can really grow even more from our mistakes, and even use them like in testimony or whatever to help bring up someone else, you know, help lift someone else up. Just like sharing who we are, you know, like really being vulnerable and transparent. Because I feel that that's really what we're called to do as like Christians, you know, we're supposed to build each other up. And I actually used to be like really perfectionist-y, and I never wanted to make mistakes. You know, I always wanted to do everything like exactly like perfect, everything according to plan, but it just causes a lot of stress, and it's not realistic at all. And from what I've observed of my growth, I grew so much more making mistakes, stumbling, and being okay with it, learning from those experiences, than try to have everything perfect all the time. Or I guess some of my favorite moments, because I can't really remember a precise one, but Usually when I perform at an event or something, I usually stay afterwards and I get to connect with the people there. I like to stay just because like really I write music and I perform to connect with other people. So I usually talk with people afterwards, and like for me the best experience is like when I'm talking to someone, they tell me, dude, I can relate so much to that song, or your song really spoke to me and I've really connected with it. Because like I feel like that's really what God has called me to do with my music, you know? It's not about like preaching straight up or like telling someone like straight up in their face like, God loves you, believe, you know? Like, even though that's true, I feel like God's really called me to speak to people in a way that they can relate to first, and I can like show them through my life, through how I act and how I behave and how I conduct myself. From there, show them what being Christian is supposed to be, and being able to relate to them as another human being, as another person who's trying to live in this world that we live in right now through all the struggles, and from there, showing them the love of Christ. So for me, the favorite moments are when they find out about the reasons why I wrote the songs or what the inspiration was, when I get to share the gospel with them, when I get to tell them like, yeah, like God really loves you, you know, like He saved you into everything. You're not bound by any of the chains of this world. I love it when I get to share with them, and even more so when they come to me like asking about it, you know, because it makes it so much easier when the person themselves is genuinely interested, because they're more likely to listen. So those are my favorite moments. For my ministry, what's coming up is my next album. It's going to be called Letters to Rain. So Letters to Rain is a series of letters that I wrote to my future daughter, because I always like wanted to have a daughter named Rain. And for me, I guess like these songs in this next album are a lot more personal for me. I mean, in comparison to my first album, even though my first album, like obviously the songs are really relatable for me, but these next songs are really special in that they're written for someone who isn't even alive yet, someone who isn't even born yet, but God has a plan for them already. And it's really weird. I don't even know why God put it on my heart to write this. But I'm really excited because like, one, it's for my future daughter, you know. So I've definitely put a lot of thought into this album. I mean, yeah, it's really weird like writing so far into the future, but at the same time, it's like trying to understand like how God's plan works, like, because we don't even really understand what's gonna happen. Yeah, some of the songs, like for example in the album, there's one that I'll be playing tonight. It's called Emotion Sickness, like motion sickness, but emotion sickness. It's a song that I wrote for my future daughter if she ever like deals with like heartbreak, or like, you know, if she breaks up with like her first boyfriend or whatever happens. In the song, like in the chorus, it says, "I'll always be there to catch you whenever you fall." That's like for both ways. Like from me to my like future daughter, like of course like I'll be there, but also when I was writing it, I kept in mind like, you know, this song is really like from God's perspective to like me in a way, like when I was writing it, because like God will always be there to catch me whenever I fall. You know, whenever I stumble, whenever I'm struggling, God will always be there. So that's one of the songs in the album, and I'm really excited for it. So that's kind of like the example of the songs that are in there. But yeah, like as I was writing the songs for this album, like to me it's really special because I feel like it's going to provide a lot of healing for some people. The last song in the album is actually really special for me. It's really intense for me too, because it's a song that I address death. For the last song in my album, it's called Goodbye. I actually wrote it to help provide closure for maybe people whose parents have died and like they wish they could have like said a goodbye, or maybe even just like try to come to terms with it, or for some people in the earlier generation, like older than me, who have had their children like die in like an accident or something, for them to like try to come to terms with it as well. So I'm excited for this album because I really believe that it's going to provide a lot of healing for a lot of people. So that's another big motivation behind me trying to put it out really fast.